Do you reach your 50s, 60s, and feel like your battery is always running low? That feeling that even after a night's sleep, fatigue greets you first thing in the morning, and activities that were once enjoyable, like a longer walk or playing with grandchildren, now seem to require Herculean effort. This drop in energy isn't your imagination, and it's far from just a sign of laziness or lack of willpower. It's a real and documented biological phenomenon that affects millions of people at this stage of life. Medicine describes processes like sarcopenia, which is the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength, and the decrease in mitochondrial efficiency, where the little powerhouses within our cells no longer work with the same power as before. This combination creates a vicious cycle. Less energy leads to less physical activity, which in turn accelerates muscle loss and energy inefficiency, resulting in even more fatigue. Many resign themselves, accepting this condition as an inevitable sentence of aging. But modern science has shown us that it doesn't have to be this way. The question guiding our video today, no energy after 50, the #1 food for stamina and results, isn't about a fountain of youth, but rather about an intelligent, evidence-based strategy to modulate these biological processes. If you identify with this quest for more vitality and want to understand how science can be your ally in regaining your breath and energy, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. What we'll explore today goes beyond generic tips. It's a dive into our body's biochemistry and how a simple food can directly impact our ability to generate energy. But what if I told you that a significant part of this energy drop is not just the weight of age, but rather a specific biochemical process happening in our arteries and muscles? A process that, surprisingly, can be influenced by something we put on our plate every day. This food, which has caught the attention of the scientific community significantly, isn't an exotic fruit from the other side of the world, nor an expensive supplement with a complicated name. We're talking about the modest, accessible, and powerful beetroot. Yes, that vibrantly colored vegetable that many of us have known since childhood. But the scientific interest in it goes far beyond its basic nutritional value. Rigorous studies, published in high-impact scientific journals like the Journal of Applied Physiology and Nutrients, have specifically investigated the effects of beetroot consumption, particularly in juice form, on physical performance and cardiovascular health, with a special focus on middle-aged and older populations. A landmark study, for example, observed that older adults who consumed beetroot juice before walking showed a reduction in the oxygen cost of exercise. In simple terms, their bodies needed less oxygen to perform the same effort, which directly translates to greater stamina and less fatigue. Another robust line of research, consolidated in several meta-analyses, points to beetroot's ability to help regulate blood pressure, a crucial health factor after 50. These studies are not casual observations. They are controlled clinical trials, where one group consumes beetroot juice and another a placebo without the active component, allowing scientists to isolate and measure the food's actual effect. The results are consistently promising, showing improvements in stamina, muscle efficiency, and vascular health. The most fascinating aspect is that these benefits seem particularly relevant for the age group over 50, precisely when the body's natural systems begin to lose efficiency. The results are promising and consistent across various studies. But the big question is, how can a simple vegetable produce such profound effects in our body? It's not magic, it's pure biochemistry. The answer lies in a molecule that our body already produces, but whose production decreases with age: nitric oxide. To understand the power of beetroot, we first need to understand the importance of nitric oxide, or simply, NO. A discovery that earned a Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998, this small molecule is one of the most important signalers in our cardiovascular system. Think of it as a conductor that governs blood flow in our body. Its main function is to promote vasodilation, which is the relaxation and widening of our blood vessels. When arteries dilate, blood flows more easily, like water in a wider hose. This has profound consequences for our health and energy. First, better circulation means that more oxygen and essential nutrients are efficiently delivered to all tissues, including muscles during exertion, and the brain for maintaining mental clarity. Second, by reducing resistance to blood flow, nitric oxide helps maintain blood pressure at healthy levels, easing the heart's workload. The problem is that as the years go by, our body's ability to produce nitric oxide decreases. The cells lining our arteries, called endothelial cells, which are the main factories for NO, become less efficient. This decline in nitric oxide production is one of the central factors of vascular aging, contributing to arterial stiffness, increased pressure, and, crucially for our discussion, the feeling of fatigue. When your muscles don't receive enough oxygen quickly enough, they tire faster. Recovery becomes slower. That burst of energy to climb stairs or carry groceries simply disappears, not due to a lack of will, but due to a real physiological limitation at the circulatory level. So the logic is simple. If a lack of nitric oxide is part of the problem, increasing its levels could be part of the solution. This is precisely where beetroot comes in, not by directly containing nitric oxide, but by providing the raw material for an alternative pathway of producing this vital molecule, a kind of biochemical plan B that our body can use. This alternative pathway that beetroot offers us is a brilliant example of nature's ingenuity and is known as the nitrate-nitrite-nitric oxide pathway. It's a three-step process that bypasses the age-related decline in nitric oxide production in our arteries. Let's understand each step. First, beetroot is extraordinarily rich in inorganic nitrates, NO3 lows, compounds found naturally in the soil and absorbed by vegetables. When we ingest beetroot, whether cooked, raw, or as juice, these nitrates enter our system. The first magical conversion happens in our mouth. The bacteria living on the surface of our tongue, especially at the back, possess enzymes capable of transforming nitrate, NO3, into nitrite, NO2. This step is so crucial that using antiseptic mouthwashes right after consuming beetroot can completely negate its benefits, as they kill these beneficial bacteria. Next, we swallow this nitrite, which is now in our saliva. In the acidic environment of the stomach, some of this nitrite is directly converted into nitric oxide, in NO. The rest is absorbed into the bloodstream and circulates throughout the body. In areas of the body with low oxygen levels, such as muscles during exercise, nitrite is efficiently converted into nitric oxide. The brilliance of this mechanism is that it acts as a reinforcement system, a true biological hack, which becomes increasingly important as the main nitric oxide production by our arteries declines, and the connection to energy is direct and profound. Increased nitric oxide levels not only improve muscle blood flow, but also optimize the function of mitochondria, our cellular energy powerhouses. Studies have shown that in the presence of more nitric oxide, mitochondria can produce the same amount of energy, the molecule ATP, by consuming less oxygen. This means our muscles become more efficient. The result is the ability to exercise longer before feeling fatigued, faster recovery, and an overall sense of greater vigor and stamina. This alternative biochemical pathway is a remarkable discovery and scientifically explains why so many studies observe improvements in stamina. But as critical thinkers, we must be honest. How strong is this evidence? What do the studies actually say? And more importantly, what are their limitations? Scientific honesty is the pillar of our channel, and it's crucial to analyze the evidence about beetroot with a balanced perspective. The good news is that the body of research is robust and growing. We're not talking about one or two isolated studies, but dozens of clinical trials, as well as systematic reviews and meta-analyses, which are considered the highest level of scientific evidence as they compile and analyze the results of multiple studies. A meta-analysis published in 2017 in the Journal of Nutrition concluded that supplementation with beetroot juice can significantly improve endurance exercise performance, increasing time to exhaustion by almost 20% in some measurements. Other research shows clear benefits in reducing systolic and diastolic blood pressure, an effect that, while modest, is clinically significant and can complement other hypertension management strategies. However, it's equally important to discuss limitations and nuances. First, most studies are relatively short in duration, from a few days to a few weeks. The long-term effects of beetroot consumption, over months or years, are still not as well understood. Second, the optimal dose is still a subject of debate. Most studies use concentrated juice doses, and the response can vary significantly from person to person. Factors such as overall diet, fitness level, and, as we've seen, oral microbiome can influence the effectiveness of nitrate conversion to nitric oxide. Not everyone is a high responder. Some individuals may experience remarkable benefits, while others may feel little to no difference. Furthermore, most research focuses on beetroot juice. While eating whole beetroot is extremely healthy, providing fiber and other nutrients, the nitrate concentration may be less standardized and absorption potentially different. Recognizing these limitations does not diminish the value of beetroot. On the contrary, it gives us a realistic perspective. This honesty about the science is crucial. Beetroot is not a magic pill, but a powerful tool with a well-understood mechanism of action and promising evidence for improving energy and cardiovascular health, especially after 50. Knowing this, the practical question becomes, how can we incorporate this tool into our routine safely and effectively to seek these results? Transforming scientific knowledge into practical action is our ultimate goal. So, let's talk about how to implement beetroot consumption safely and intelligently into your life. The first question is dosage. Most studies that observed positive effects on performance and blood pressure used a nitrate amount equivalent to about 500 ml of fresh beetroot juice per day, which corresponds to approximately 3 to 5 medium-sized beetroots. For those who prefer convenience, there are concentrated juices, the famous shots, where a smaller volume, 70 to 140 milliliters, can provide the same amount of nitrates. Timing of consumption also matters. If your goal is to improve stamina for a specific physical activity, such as walking, swimming, or weightlifting, it's best to consume the juice about 2 to 3 hours before exercise. This is the time it takes for the body to complete the conversion process and reach peak nitric oxide levels in the blood. For general health benefits, such as blood pressure regulation, daily consistency is more important than the exact time. You can choose between consuming the juice, which offers a more concentrated dose of nitrates, or whole beetroot, raw grated in salads or steamed to preserve its nutrients as much as possible. Boiling in water can cause some nitrates to be lost in the water. Now, safety considerations. A common and completely harmless side effect is baturia, which is the reddish discoloration of urine and stools. Don't be alarmed, this is normal. However, individuals with a history of kidney stones, specifically calcium oxalate stones, should exercise caution. Beetroot is rich in oxalates, which can contribute to stone formation in susceptible individuals. Additionally, if you are already taking medication for high blood pressure, it's important to monitor your levels and talk to your doctor, as beetroot can have an additive effect, potentiating the medication's action. If these practical tips are helping you understand how to apply science in your daily life, please give this video a like. This helps us know we're on the right track to bringing you more quality content. Adopting a new eating habit, even one as promising as this, should always be done consciously and responsibly. And that brings us to the most important point of our entire conversation, a golden rule that can never be forgotten when it comes to our health. We've reached the most critical point in any health discussion, your individuality and the need for professional guidance. It's fundamental that you understand that this video, and any other informative content you find, is intended to educate and inspire, but never to replace the evaluation and recommendation of a qualified health professional. The golden rule is, always consult your doctor or nutritionist before making any significant changes to your diet or supplement routine. This is especially true if you fall into one of the groups we mentioned. Individuals with pre-existing conditions, such as kidney disease, diabetes, or blood pressure managed by medication. Your doctor knows your complete health history, the medications you use, and can offer personalized and safe guidance, ensuring that the new habit brings only benefits without unexpected risks. The search for the answer to no energy after 50, the Tawaruin-1 Food for Stamina and Results, is a journey of empowerment through knowledge. Today we've unraveled the science behind beetroot. We started with the real problem of age-related fatigue, explored current research pointing to this vegetable, delved into the fascinating biochemical mechanism of the nitric oxide pathway, analyzed the strength and limitations of scientific evidence, and finally discussed how to implement it practically and safely. Aging is a fact, but aging without vitality is a choice we can influence. By understanding how our body works, and by utilizing science-based tools, such as strategic nutrition, we can take control of our health and build the second half of our lives with more energy, stamina, and quality. Beetroot is not a miracle cure, but an excellent example of how a simple food can have a profound and scientifically validated impact on our well-being. What's your experience with energy after 50? Have you tried beetroot for this purpose? Share your journey in the comments below. Let's build a community of support and mutual learning. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next dive into health science.